We are joined this morning by Linda Biernacki, who was one of the local business leaders summoned to a big meeting with the governor to talk about the fiscal cliff.
I guess first question, how do you get invited to such an august get-together?
Well, I really don't know. I'm still asking that question, so I'm not sure who on his staff reached out to me, but it's part of the Committee of 100. They did reach out, which is a business organization in the state of Louisiana that really works towards working on business-friendly legislature and for businesses to move forward in this state.
Did you hear anything new from the governor, or did you just hear doom and gloom?
Oh, no. It was we as business leaders go into problems with trying to find solutions and being a positive force. The doom and gloom is strictly coming from legislators. And, the business community is trying to lean in and make a difference and tell these legislators that they have got to get the business done. And actually, the governor, I was very pleased with, a lot of things that he said. One of the things that I didn't know is that he has already cut $600 million out of the state budget. So he's working on, trying to make some differences and not to hurt. One of the things that he did say was he was not going to cut higher education or health care. And that to me was extremely positive.
He came out a year or two ago, and in talking about solving the budget crisis, he said something. He made some statements that angered a lot of people by saying, we might not have LSU football. And that got the ire of a lot of people. Like, boy, do you think he's toned things down and he won't be making threats like that anymore?
He has toned it down, and I believe he's, learned his lesson. I know, I've said things that I've regretted. So, and that is one of the things that I thought was very enlightening at this meeting, that he said, listen, I've made mistakes, and I made some mistakes, and I'm trying to right those mistakes, and that's why you're here. I'm reaching out to the business community because he hasn't been very friendly to the business community either. Mm-hmm. So he's reaching out, and we're all in because between the Committee of 100, Lobby, and PAR, those three organizations are business focused. They've come out with a task force, and the task force has come out with a white paper. And this white paper was at the legislators' beck and call. They've read it. They've looked at it. They adopted a lot of it, but it never came out of committee. And these are positive things that will happen, to the state of Louisiana if they just pass the laws. We have got to become more competitive. I mean, we're right next door to the number one competitive state in the country for small businesses. So, we don't have to go very far to get the right formula to put together and make this a positive state for businesses.
Erin has a soundbite in her newscast just about 20 minutes ago of Jay Darden saying, if we don't solve this fiscal cliff problem by enhancing revenue, then there's going to be 20% cuts in every department across state government. Is that in conflict with what you heard from the governor? Well,
enhancing revenue isn't necessarily tax-driven. So enhancing revenue means, that we need to put our revenue where we will make dollars, where we make revenue. I mean, a key one of the key selling points for Louisiana is our tourism. We need to bring people into the state. The more we can bring the tourism business into the state, the more, that generates a lot of income. Now, we have lost revenue from 2007 to 2008. We had $10.4 billion in our state budget is $32.7 billion. Mm-hmm. So, we have lost $1 billion in revenue since 2007. So, we've got to make changes and we got to make changes in our tax structure.
Let me ask you that, Linda, because
grow.
Linda, the big question is we've got a temporary sales tax on the books, a lot of talk about gas tax. You're a business owner. You know as well as anyone that if taxes go up, you pass that on to your customer.
Right.
If you can, are you in favor of keeping that temporary tax on the books? Are you in favor of increasing a gas tax as a business owner? I mean, you are the ones who are going to get hit.
Right. Okay. So the governor is not, he did say that he is not for continuing that 1 penny sales tax. Now, if we can find the bridge, if we can find the money, he was open to bridging the gap with that temporary 1 cent tax until we get solid funding in place. So that made sense to me. Now, the gas tax, okay, I was for the gas tax. I've got over 65 company trucks. Mm-hmm. But what I am looking at is our infrastructure. Our infrastructure is the worst. It is 49th in the country. And let me tell you, the reason I was for that tax. Now, we haven't increased our gas tax in 30 years in the state of Louisiana. Now, the reason I was for it is because there's federal money out there that if we do not have the matching funds to get free federal money, then we would lose it. Mm-hmm. So we, excuse me.
No problem.
But, these are the things that business owners, if there is a return on investment to the dollars that we invest in the state, we're good. We're good because we know we will see a return on our investment. So these politicians, they have got to get their act together.